Well, folks, the bait that the fish are spitting up look kind of small, so we put on a white pinhead, we put it on the lead core, and hook up. More folks should be running that pinhead. I caught some really nice salmon on that spoon at Folsom this year. It's a real winner when the fish are eating smaller baits. It just has smaller profile, but it's a small spoon that you control quickly. You control that spoon at 3 miles an hour. Once we get this fish in, I'll show you that spoon. Oh, nice fish. That's a chunk. It's a chunker. Pinhead strikes again. Hook jaw. Look at that. Nice hook jaw. Okay, buddy. There he goes. He's off. There's that pinhead. Just a simple white pinhead. It's got a little red eye on it. A little treble hook on it. That pinhead just flat out catches fish. If the bait is small, it works great. And as I said, it's very, very versatile. You can go fast with it. Go slow with it. Just a nice small profile spoon that you control quickly. Howdy folks, Cal Kellogg here. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for all the support. If you're a new viewer and you like this content, please take a second to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, make yourself part of our community, and you will always know when I'm here on YouTube talking about trout fishing. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I got the Carhartts on. I've been doing chores all day. We have our first real big shot of rainy weather moving into the Sierra foothills, and that is fantastic news for the foothill trout fishing scene. The lakes in the foothills, Collins Lake, Don Pedro to some extent, Amador, Comanche. The bite has kind of been on again, off again, even though trout plans have been underway. Well, this series of storms, the rain, it's going to stir things up. It's going to put a little color in the water. It's going to change the surface temperature. It's just going to shock those fish into feeding. And I think we're on the verge of some very good fishing here in the foothills. I can't wait to get out there and get after those fish. Let's talk a little bit about the fish you saw in the beginning of this video. My buddy Abdul caught that trout at Lake Berryessa. Now, Lake Berryessa is a foothills lake. I guess you'd consider it a foothills lake. It's over there in Napa County. Now, that lake has been red hot lately. The bites ranging anywhere from good to great, depending on the day. And even though we were there during the peak of the full moon, we did very, very well. Now, that fish you saw Abdul catch hit that spoon right there. That is a pinhead trolling spoon. And this is what I want to talk about today. I run a tackle business. If you don't know, FHS Fishing. You'll see spoons, lead core rods like that, trolling flies, soft plastics, and more. Check it out. If you're looking for trout tackle, we'll get you what you need. We'll get it sent out real quick. Of all the spoons I sell, this is the one that sells the least. And that's unfortunate because it is a very unique, very deadly spoon. Now, here's the backstory on why I put that spoon on, and unfortunately, it was right at the end of the day. We'd caught quite a few trout up to that point, and we caught one, and it spit out some bait fish, and they were little tiny shad about that long. I think I got some video of one of them. It's partly digested, but you can kind of get the idea of the size. Well, when I saw a shad that size, I said, aha, I need something small to match that size of bait, but I also need something that I can troll fairly fast because we were trolling anywhere from like 2.4 to 2.7 miles an hour, and we were doing very well on my trigger spoons, which is a 2¼ inch spoon. Now, compared to the bait that trout spit up and the trigger spoon, well, the bait that the fish were feeding on, or at least the bait that fish was feeding on, was much smaller. We were still getting fish on the trigger spoons, and as I said, doing quite well, but I think we could have done even better on smaller profile spoons. We had that white pinhead out. It's white, silverback. We had that out for maybe 20 minutes and we caught a fish on it right away. I think it was probably 8 to 10 feet below the surface because we were just running the lead core. Anyway, if you're on a lake and you suspect the fish are feeding on small bait, or you suspect that the trout are a little bit tentative, maybe they're not going after your full-size speedy shiners, your full-size trigger spoons, your full-size needlefish, consider, downsizing. The problem with that is sometimes you still want to continue to troll fast, and that's where the uniqueness of the pinhead spoon really comes into play. As you can see, it's a little thicker than a spoon, say like a needlefish or even a trigger spoon. It's denser, it's a little bit heavier. You can cast these from shore. They weigh 1/8 of an ounce, so they're kind of a beefy spoon. They start kicking, they start working at about 1.5 miles an hour. I've actually caught kokanee on them, but you can troll this thing all the way up to 3+ miles an hour. It is a very small spoon that you can troll at virtually any speed, including really, really fast, and that's unique. You can also jig with the spoon. This spoon started its life in Sweden as a jigging spoon. It's intended to drop down through a hole in the ice, jig up and down, maybe tip it with a maggot or a little piece of worm, something like that. The deal is, a lot of times, if you take a jigging spoon and you troll it, it'll either have no action, 0 action, or it'll have very good action. So I got my hands on a few prototypes of this spoon, ran them behind my kayak, and I found out it has exceptional swimming action across a broad range of speeds, and I absolutely fell in love with it. We offer it up in, the full, that hook is sharp. We offer it up in the full range of colors: orange, red, 24 karat gold, copper, genuine silver, pink, chartreuse, blah, 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 you name it. And you could even, this one right here, I was killing it with this one at Folsom this year. I just took a silver one and I added a little bit of pink and blue tape to it. And in the summer, we were finding small bait in the salmon, and we caught some very nice rainbows and some very nice salmon on that little tiny spoon. Sometimes the old saying, big bait, big fish, is true, but don't discount the ability of small baits to catch really big fish. All of these local reservoirs here in Northern California and really across the West that have bait fish, either in the form of pond smelt or threadfin shad, those lakes fish a lot like the ocean, in that all the predators in the lake are going to be keyed in on one bait fish. When all the rainbow trout in your local lake are keyed in on 1 or 1.5 inch long shad, there is no benefit to running a really big Rapala to catch a big fish. Trout are, or can be, selective feeders, which means they will dial in on one precise food source. And when that food source is small bait, you need to match that hatch, and the pinhead spoon is one of the tools that enables you to do that. I don't get emotionally attached to my lures. When you're out on the water, you have to put the best available bait on the end of your line. You have to put the offering on the end of your line that most closely matches what the trout are eating, and dials in that number, so to speak, that can change on any given day to match the bait to the temperament of the fish. Some days I go out, trout, tricks, worms, man. That is what they're hitting. They're hitting those all day long, and I'm killing them on those. Other days, I'm out, fish are feeding on small bait, I'll put on the pinheads and I'll do very well. So if you are looking to really round out your tackle box, to have, all the tools rather that you need to match the challenges that you're going to see out on the water from day to day, you need some big spoons, you need some fast trolling spoons, you need some medium-sized spoons, and you need some small spoons that you control across a range of different speeds, like the pinhead. If I just had spoons, flies, and soft plastics, my Trix series soft plastics, my metalhead trolling flies, maybe a few woolly boogers, or trigger boogers as I call them, and an array of spoons, speed spoons, trigger spoons juniors, and pinheads, I could fish very comfortably with just those lures all season long and never feel like I was lacking the tools to catch fish under any given conditions. Let the rain fall, let those foothill trout start biting. I can't wait to get out to Collins Lake. I can't wait to get out to Comanche. I've got a announcement coming up about my guiding season on Collins Lake, but we'll talk more about that later. For now, I got more chores to do. I got some guy that's going to climb up on my scary roof and help me clean the stovepipe on my heat stove. I heat my house with wood, so it's important that that thing is working well when I go into a stormy cycle like this. I want my wife to be warm, I want my dog to be warm, and I want to be warm. I'm out of here for now. Once again, I'm Kel Kellogg. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please take a second to hit it, hit the bell notification, and we'll be back here talking trout real soon. If you're looking for pinheads or any of the other gear that I offer, get on up to fhsfishing.com. We'll get you what you need. We'll get it quickly, and you will be out on the water yelling, "Fish on!" just as soon as it stops raining. I'm Kel Kellogg. You have a great day.